Okay, there's that. I'm watching Jason X on Look Movie. For reasons unbeknownst to me, in my fueled stupor, I have decided to make commentary on portions of this movie. Hold on a tick. Dusty bits on the thingy there. Hang on. Right. Okay. Yeah. Those of you who know, you know. Who the fuck I am, what the fuck I do. Right, okay. I'm not gonna backtrack to the beginning. Uh, Back in the fucking 90s, yeah, it was okay for intro text, computer generated text on screen to have the beeps, subtle little computer generated tone beeping denoting that the text was being typed. I never really got into that. I found it cumbersome. Now I just find it severely annoying. Whether it's in a science fiction movie or anything else, I find it annoying. Just put the fucking text on screen. Don't put any sound effects on it. I don't fucking care for it. It's unnecessary. It doesn't add to the ambience of the film. It doesn't make it any better or worse. It's just annoying to me. That being said, in parodies such as Hot Shots Part 2, it's perfectly fine to have the keyboard stroke sounds. I'm gonna get nostalgic if I get sidetracked too much. It's perfectly fine because it's a parody of the genre of which it's making fun of. That's fine. But in any other genre of film, it's unnecessary, cumbersome fluff that I find severely annoying. Moving on. In a secret military facility, you find Jason chained up and in the middle of a dark room. Whatever. That's after the opening credits and the scientist with the face mask and all that jazz. Yeah, sure, that's fine for your opening sequence. Sure, why not? It was in the mid to late 90s with movies like Spawn having lengthy opening credit sequences. Fine, sure, I can get behind that. You're doing your opening title sequence and saying who all's in the movie, and yeah, fine, whatever. I'm not gonna knock it, I'm not gonna praise it. It's neither. It's neutral to me. But the level of security for any military facility even back then, Jason would not have escaped. They would not have allowed some new first day on the job level technician anywhere near the holding chamber for this motherfucker. And then you get the stereotypical asshole general or whatever the fuck the little piece of shit is who gets run through in the first 5 minutes by Jason, going over the lead researcher's head and saying, oh, we're transferring him. You can't put him on ice and make sure he doesn't hurt anybody else. To which he immediately gets killed over by Jason. Okay, fine, sure. But his escape makes no fucking sense. He was chained up. How the fuck did the technician, the fucking idiot who put the blanket over his head, get swapped into his place? You gotta show his fucking escape. If they do a remake of this movie, show his escape similar to Riddick's escape in Pitch Black. In that one, Riddick dislocates his fucking shoulders and makes use of a broken beam, just slides his cuffs through the gap. Something like that makes sense, given the context of the situation. His machete would never have gotten through the fucking chamber that the lead researcher pushed him into. Yeah, I don't give a fuck what fucking supernatural strength Jason has. A machete is a machete, and that motherfucker is gonna break. It's not gonna punch through fucking solid steel. Besides, the fucking the lore and the backstory for Jason is that he has some sort of supernatural regeneration. Superhuman strength is not gonna force a fucking regular ass stainless steel blade through several inches of solid fucking steel. It's just not gonna fucking work. What the fuck? I don't know all the lore regarding his equipment, his mask, his machete, his clothes. All I know is that he's a supernatural entity himself. I don't know if it extends to things he chooses to use as weapons. So that needs explanation. And then the idiots going down into the base and looking into it. Well after he's frozen for an indeterminate length of time. Seriously. It's a Mickey Mouse operation, these guys. That they characterize is just fucking laughable. A stereotypical stoner idiot who touches a fucking super frozen mug and gets it stuck to his hand, then winds up getting his arm cut off. Come on. Furthermore, in that facility, they would have had documentation, paperwork records, a computer terminal entry, and that would have been looked into long before they got down the stairs into that fucking cryo facility. They would have known what the fuck was going on before they got there. Now for the thing that didn't age well at all in this first 14 minutes that I've watched of this. The offhanded remark about hockey being outlawed in 2024. It's almost 2026, and hockey was not outlawed. So, the parallel between Jason X making a ludicrous claim about something getting outlawed and Demolition Man making a ludicrous claim that's actually being proven true in real time now. It's absurd. Nobody's gonna outlaw a fucking sport. Especially when the players sign consent forms and shit and they know what the fuck they're doing and they have all the safety equipment and everything. It's just fucking stupid. They never should have made that ludicrous claim. It just makes that scene of the movie age poorly. Okay, what else? Gone over. They would have had proper documentation. Yada, yada, yada. As far as one of the high ups in the military, they would have taken the precaution of actually making sure that Jason was completely neutralized as far as being a threat to the civilian population. That was utter bullshit. That dude saying, "Oh yeah, I'm sure we'll take the risk. We've got it all under control." Bullshit. The military doesn't operate that way. They didn't operate that way back then. Why the fuck is it so fucking poorly written, even for the time in which it was written? If you're gonna make Jason out to be a supernatural entity, write it in a way where the fucking idiot Brass comes in after he's fucking frozen and Jason's fucking supernatural whatever power or magic he's got pulls him out of the deep freeze and helps him escape in some sort of way that brings the story to wherever the fuck you want to take it. Just saying that, oh yeah, his fucking supernatural power doesn't allow him to recover from being frozen. That facility was fucking abandoned, full of spider webs. First of all, that wouldn't happen. Second of all, if it did, power would have failed. And you didn't say how far into the future it was, so he would have already thawed out, and that lead researcher, she would already be a decomposing corpse. That whole room, it wouldn't have been frozen at all. Not after that length of time. Okay, I've waxed idiotic long enough for now about the opening 14 fucking minutes of this movie and how horrendously dated and poorly thought out some of it was. I'm gonna pause my video and then watch more, and then maybe I'll show something and then comment on it then. Yeah, alright. 22 minutes in. And the dude finally tells the lead researcher girl 24:55. Okay, their nanorobotic tech is pretty much on point. Last time I looked into it, scientists in a lab were working with pico scale, maybe not pico. Um, they were building gears and wheels out of literal molecular scale level. And to drive them, they were using photonic emissions, light driven nanoscale technology. It's on point. What isn't on point is her concern for Jason being in cryo and contained, and he totally glazes right over the fucking subject matter. Prior to that, the horny cowboy driver of the space pod, whatever the fuck it was, seriously, the horn dog bullshit is just overplayed in all horror genre. Seriously overplayed. It's a trope that needs to be toned down. Why? Because it's way too heavy handed. For me, it's way too heavy handed. I don't watch a fucking science fiction movie or a horror movie for the fucking sex scenes. I don't give a fuck about that. If I wanted to watch sex scenes, I would go and watch porn. End of story. That being said, the fucking horny teenagers, yeah, whatever. Jason's got a fucking hard on for killing horny teenagers, just like all horror movie villains from the fucking 90s. The fucking 60s all the way up through the fucking 90s. It's a really poor trope. It was done so heavy handedly during the 90s that I got bored of it. What else? The ship design with the swiveling triangular shape Veriners on it. What the fuck is that about? Seriously, it comes into dock and the station has an automated arm that reaches down, picks it up, and pulls it in and turns it. So its swiveling fucking Veriners was just pointless fluff. Okay. Back to the first part with the text on screen that says where it's going down. If you're going to do that bit, be consistent with it and put the text on screen that states where and when shit is instead of text on screen for whatever facility during the year, blah, blah, blah. And then, dropping it after your introductory sequence is finished. And then moving on to ham handedly delivering it with exposition. Well, it's not ham handedly, honestly. It feels ham handedly delivered. But in the context of the story, the scientist on the station in space that they're at telling the lead researcher who got cryo frozen and they resuscitated her using their medical nanotech. That's all fine. But put the fucking text on screen for how far into the future when they were going down the stairs into the fucking military facility, for fuck's sake. Okay, what else do I want to go over for this next few minutes of the movie here? Why do people hype up, or why did people, I have to correct myself there, why did people hype up Jason and his entire movie series so fucking much and have a mainstream horror movie appeal for it when Jason X is a poor sci-fi horror mashup? It's a very poor mashup between the two. And that is completely separate from the one sports joke that has poorly aged and whatever. The science fiction bit, which is currently becoming science fact or science truth, with the nanotech, that's on point. I can't say that's bad because they're actually in a lab working on molecular level fucking cogs, gears, and wheels being driven by either one team was driving them with magnetic fields, and the other is driving larger ones with photonic emissions that hit an angled bevel on the middle part of the gear, thus turning it. They also discovered that inverting the polarity of the photonic emissions turns it in the opposite direction. Crazy cool, isn't it? Nanotech. It's actually a fucking thing. It's not mainstream yet. It's still in the lab. But it's getting there. The other team that were using magnetic fields to turn gears and wheels that were literally molecular scale, not on the nanoscale, literally a ring of molecules with molecular spokes every so often, and they were moving the magnets around them to get them to turn using a some sort of electron microscope attached to a monitor on a live feed to monitor their progress with getting it to work. I'm guessing that led into the nanoscale version with using photons directed squarely at, well, technically not squarely, at the fucking gears to turn them. Anyway, I'm getting off on the tangent of nanoscale technology is a thing and it's fucking cool and I enjoy it. As far as the rest of this movie is concerned, so far, for the 22 minutes I've been watching it, there's a lot to be desired as far as actual military protocol and 400 years past 2000. Yeah, 455 years past the year 2000. I would expect for humanity to not even bother returning to Earth in person. I would expect them to scan from orbit, like Star Trek style, and then use a matter energy converter teleporter type deal to extract the two beings without going there in person. That's what I would expect. But even before Jason X was even made, Star Trek was in place long before that, with the teleporters and the warp and everything. All the groundwork was there. And science is just recently starting to explore the possibility. So, a Jason X remake where they just beam Jason and that scientist straight to their ship, definitely plausible. As far as medical science, teleporters in Star Trek have been used in a medical fashion as well as to create an entire duplicate of an individual. What else have they been used for? The exclusion of certain genetic bits that led to the crew who was beamed at that situation being turned into children. Neelix and Tuvok being fused by a certain flower's genetic pattern being confused in the buffers to make Tuvix. A lot of crazy shit has happened with teleporters. Okay, I've gotten way the fuck off base here. I'm gonna pause again, watch some more, and try and find something completely different from all the stuff I've gone over so far. Okay, let me recap for myself. The horny bullshit, horny nonsense. Yeah, I need to ignore that from now on. Focus on something new that I haven't discussed before. What else? Yeah, how dumb they all are. That's something I should say right now. You would think that them being in space and having a ship and all this advanced technology, that there wouldn't be these idiots who were so unprofessional at their jobs that they would start making out right over Jason's fucking body and start ogling the lead science girl like fucking morons. You would expect a homogeneity of work ethic, discipline, respect, a blending between civilian and military lifestyle so that everyone pulls their own weight. Everyone gets cross training to do all jobs so that if an emergency arises, anybody can go and help in the emergency. You would expect that to be the level of homogeneity, like an ant colony. Every individual ant in a colony is equally skilled at every last single job except for being the queen or a soldier ant within the colony. But for humans in the far future, you would expect a level of homogeneity in skills and work ethic and discipline so that the blending of the private sector and the military sector become as one, and everyone receives training and discipline in all the aspects of the jobs that need to be done for vital functions from birth, as well as to take care of themselves and each other. Right, okay. That expectation of a societal progression aside, I'm going to pause again and continue watching onward. Right, before I get into this scene, something I should have said at the beginning of this video I'm recording. This is a pick apart, nitpick, critique, whatever you want to call it, of the movie Jason X. So, this scene I'm going to show, and then I'm going to pick it apart and critique it and throw in what I personally view. For those of you who are still interested, enjoy.
Secure line. Perez, Dieter. Solaris Research Station. Connect. Low. You bastard. We've hit the mother lode. You know what time it is? I don't care. We've got a gold mine.
A box of DVDs is not a gold mine. I told you. I can't move.
Just look at the file. 2 400-year-old frozen specimens. One well preserved. The other one, are you ready for this? Up and walking around.
400 years old and walking around.
455 years to be exact.
Who cares? Who gives a shit?
People. People will pay huge money to see her.
Huge money. That's the opportune word, isn't it? Personally, I would expect any species of sufficient intellectual capability to move beyond a system of money and currency and into a resource management and recycling system instead. That's what I would expect to happen. Because eventually, you realize the pattern that has occurred with human history. Every system of money has gone through, system of money and currency, has gone through the exact same pattern. The debasement of its value. The Roman and Greek empires and several before them had precious metal coins. Precious metal. Currently, those metals of precious value are better suited as components in mechanical and electronics. They're not as valuable or as precious as they've been led on to believe. It's a simple monkey brain thing. Ooh, shiny, I like. That's the whole premise of precious value from metals and gemstones and all sorts of other shit. It's a fake idealism. Now, the lack of thought put into the writing for that leads me to believe that this idiot who's talking to this man in bed who apparently can't move around is going to do something stupid and release Jason Voorhees on a killing spree. I have just summarized the whole movie, haven't I? To which lead science lady, who has been cryo-frozen and then resurrected with nanotech, is gonna have to be the one to quote-unquote stop Jason from his killing spree. Or be the final kill. I haven't seen this movie before. I am watching it right now, the first time. And quite honestly, this is the first ever Jason movie I've ever seen. I really do have the trope down pat, don't I? After you watch enough movies and you study parts of how the Writers Guild sets it up, there's an A plot, a B plot, maybe a C plot on occasion. Your A plot is your primary focus. Your B plot is usually some sort of romance or friendship or subplot. And your C plot is probably going to be your comic relief. Or your overarching storyline in the background behind all of the main characters. It's interchangeable with the A plot at that time when it's written that way, such as with Star Wars. It's the A and C plot get interchangeable. That's for that particular series within this genre of sci-fi, though. As far as horror goes, it's usually just an A plot with sporadic sprinklings of a B plot that serve the A plot or the arching theme of the story, which is basically killer goes on a murder spree, does it in horrific ways that usually are frightening and have stings, musical melodies that are designed to elicit fright, anxiety, and fear. Now, Hollywood has the formula for writing films and movies and TV shows all the way down to an exact science of when to elicit a certain emotional response from the audience at a certain time. I don't remember the exact breakdown that I saw in a documentary style video, but basically, yay, so many minutes in, you're gonna get action A that leads to consequence B, yay, so many minutes in later. That's gonna be followed up by yada yada yada. It's all planned, plotted, written out, and that's how writing any script in Hollywood goes. If you don't believe me, ask the writer behind Eragon, the original writer of the 4 books. I believe it's 4 books. Yeah, the I forgot the name he put on the books, but it's summarized as the Aragon series. Yeah, they did his movie real fucking dirty. They did not want it to succeed, and he didn't have the appropriate agents and lawyers to fight for its success. Personally, I would love to see a proper movie series of Aragon done properly. With the actors in place, most predominantly the actor who played as Galbatorix, who was the Cyrus the Virus in Con Air. He brings a je ne sais quoi to the role that is brilliantly, perfectly fitting. He has played the part of a psychopathic sociopath brilliantly, and he brought that to the performance just brilliantly. As for continuing this video and doing additional commentation on Jason X, I've beat this dead horse as far as it can be beat. I'm just gonna watch it and try to enjoy for what it is from now on, for the rest of the movie's duration. And for those of you who haven't seen it, hopefully you don't take what I'm saying as an absolute, and watch it and think of it from your own perspective. Enjoy it or critique it or don't enjoy it at your own choosing, not what I tell you. Because what I'm telling you is just how I see things. Don't take that as an absolute for this movie. Now, that being said, who do we have to talk to get Jason X a reboot and see if we can actually use the current level of technology, understanding, and yada 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 to make a different version of Jason X and reboot the Aragon series into a proper series with all the actors who were put in place. There is one actor who I would have loved to had put in as the leader of the Varden, but he has sadly died. He was the black fellow who was the leader of the resistance in the Rock's Scorpion King movie, where he goes against Nimrod. For those of you who know, the actor that I'm talking about, he would have played the leader of the Varden brilliantly. However, he's not around to do so, so we have to find someone who embodies the gravitas and the aura and the presence of spirit that that particular actor portrayed and embodied for the leader of the Varden. That that would significantly impact the emotional tone of the movie, the movie series for Aragon. Yeah, I would love to see that happen. A proper Aragon movie series, not the bullshit that they did before. And they really they took the original writer for a ride. Forgot your name, dude. The original writer of the Aragon books. I'm sorry they fucked the movie up so goddamn bad. But the actors who were there, yeah, they're worth actually making a proper couple of movies on. As far as the bureaucracy that went on behind the scenes, my heart goes out to you, dude. Because I would have loved to see all the books turned into movies properly. Not just done up the way Hollywood does their formulas, but as close to the books as possible. You know what? I may have started as commenting on Jason X, but I'm getting into something that I would really like to see happen. A proper making of the Aragon books into movies. Do any of you out there want to see that happen? If you do, then aside from the obvious of leaving a comment saying that you would like to see that happen, reach out to the original writer of the Aragon books and whatever other people in Hollywood that you can reach out to. If you know somebody, start talking. If you don't, dig up the information and send an email or a letter or something and let them know that you would like to see the Aragon movie redone properly, as close to the books as possible, with the format that Hollywood has for its writing system. You know what? Steven Spielberg. Yeah. Get Steven Spielberg in on it, if he's still around. He did Jurassic Park, which was written by Michael Crichton. Granted, it is radically different from the books, but he has the experience with the dinosaurs that may translate over into the dragons. I've gotten completely off the topic of Jason X and into something that I want to see done properly. If anyone agrees out there, don't just share a clip of me explaining this with the people who agree with you. Send a clip to Steven Spielberg and the original writer of the Aragon books, and let's all work together and try and get that done. Yeah. And after that, join my Patreon and support me in doing dumb shit like I've explained to you about getting the Aragon books made into movies properly, as close to the book source as possible. It may not be viable to do a live action movie. It may be an animated series. That may be the best way to do it. But still, it's better than nothing at all. It's better than the Aragon movie that we got a while back. Fucking hell. What am I going to title this video? I start critiquing Jason X and devolve into... Not devolve. It's not a de-evolution. It's a side-volve into reigniting Aragon. Yep, sure. Why not? A lengthy-ass motherfucking title that YouTube's going to cut off and it's not going to be read properly. Fuck it. Who cares? You might. One of you watching or multiple of you watching. You might. And then join my Patreon and support me doing all this dumb shit. So I can do more dumb shit while I'm drunk. Instead of slandering and berating all of you. Because drunk Katana is the best Katana. Kind of like drunken boxing and Jackie Chan. I forgot his actual name, even though he said it in one of his side chats from Jackie Chan Adventures. Okay, nostalgia trip over. Do the things I've said. And, like or dislike at your leisure. Okay? If you like this, then like it. If you dislike it, then dislike it. But definitely let me know in the comments that you've gotten this far and you want to see the Aragon books made into movies as close to the books as possible. Man, I'm way off subject matter from the primary focus of the original point of this video. Alright, that's the end. Bye!